Hello, guys. Welcome to Cop Connection, and we are going to talk about the FSG ownership and obviously the impacts of the ownership on the good side and, of course, the bad side with my own opinion through in, of course. Um, I was going to do this live. The live stream just messed up. Something went wrong with the program, so I just thought I'll record it and I'll do it like that. So we're going to get underway and we're going to talk about it. So we're going to start with how it came about. FSG in 2010 buying the club for what, 300 million, just over 300 million pounds, taking it off Hicks and Gillette, which I think we was all grateful for because that was the worst time to be a Liverpool fan, I think, ownership wise. For us to have an ownership as bad as that was horrendous. It was horrendous times to the point where you didn't think Liverpool was going to exist for much longer. Anyway, onto the topic itself. It kind of come to fruition this summer again, didn't it? A big movement, the FSG Out movement, again, was all over X, all over Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. And it's something that I tweet, it's something that I post because I believe their time has come. But bear with me. The reason I think their time has come is because financial state of football nowadays is beyond them. I think beyond their financial capabilities. When you've got probably Villa's owners are richer, you've got Brighton and West Ham spending more money. So I just feel the last few seasons, every summer we seem to have the major signing goes missing and goes dead in the water. Every single year. We had Lavia, we had Caicedo, we had Enzo Fernandez, we had Jude Bellingham. This year we had Zubimendi. And it's just getting annoying. It's just getting frustrating. It's just getting, to the point where you feel like, okay, just chuck the money at someone that's going to change this team, that's going to impact positively on this team. And the excuses were there this summer that Zubimendi was the only option. We didn't have any other options in the number 6 position, which I think is ridiculous, by the way. We'll comment on one person that has talked very positive about the summer. They've talked very positive about the ownership. For whatever reason, it's a bit weird. So David Ornstein, really like the guy. He's a great journalist, really good journalist. But what a strange sort of way he's going about things. He's wearing the Boston hat. He's not said one bad thing about the summer, not mentioned one bad thing about the contracts being run down, not mentioned anything about the ownership in general. Really, I mean, okay, it's not his job to talk about FSG and their spending or the lack of spending, etc. But when it comes to this summer, we all knew we needed a DM, a number 6. We all knew we needed a left-sided centre-back, and we all knew we needed another forward. The forward we kind of ticked off with Chiesa. Centre-back, we didn't even start, I don't think. I don't think so. And the DM position, number 6 position, Zubimendi's the only one. For me, no chance. There's other players out there. There was Edison, there was Varela, there was, all these other players. I mean, that's 2 options, but there is more. Out there this summer, and I just feel there's no intention from FSG to spend. There's no intention to spend big one summer. Why can't we buy a centre back and a DM and a forward? Why can't we do that? Why have we got to get a cut price Chiesa? And I will say, on the Chiesa deal, I was very happy because Chiesa's always been a player I liked. He's always been a player that I would love at Liverpool, etc. Probably since about 2020, going into 2021, the Euros, I remember watching him and I thought, I'd love him to play for Liverpool. I'd love him to play for Liverpool. And bear in mind, this finally happens. He's in a Liverpool shirt, so I'm happy about that. The goalkeeper situation, okay, I kind of get it in one way because he is good. He is a good goalkeeper, but he's not for this season. He's probably not for next season unless they're getting rid of Alisson, which I'd be gutted if they got rid of Alisson because I think he's the best goalkeeper on the planet. I don't see anybody else doing the saves he does. I just don't. But the things we have to remember is these guys are the guys that try to trademark Liverpool. They try to raise ticket prices. They try to furlough staff over COVID. They tried all these things and every single fan was against them things and it didn't happen. And the biggest one of all, of course, is they tried to join the Super League. Massively dents their legacy. To me, it dents their legacy of owning the club because they were willing to sacrifice everything that the fans believe in, everything that the football pyramid in this country believes in, and that's that the Premier League is the top division. You know, they were going to willing to leave that behind to go to some fantasy that Florentino Perez had, or Juventus had, or Barcelona had, or whatever. They've essentially kind of got their way with the Champions League. It's a little bit similar, but we remain in the Premier League, obviously. And I think for me, that was a major turning point on FSG because it's not all about transfers. The one thing people need to realise is not all about the transfers. It's not all about we want them to spend like Man United or Chelsea. As one of the journalists said, not one Liverpool fan has said we need to spend like Chelsea or Manchester United, by the way. I can't remember what one that was. But Lynch maybe, something, I don't know. You know, and I just feel that for me was a turning point in the aspect of, right, 100%, these guys, it's time to sell. It's time to sell. And the reason I say it's time to sell for them is that I don't know if you've read my article on X. It explains everything in there. But I do believe they've made their money. Obviously, the stadium can't be extended anymore. There is no room around Anfield. That's a fact. It can't happen. There's a new training ground, so they can't build another training ground now. So theoretically, facility-wise, they can't really improve the club anymore. So that's the end of the line for that. You then look at how much Liverpool are worth. According to Forbes, £3.5 billion pounds, that is. So around $4 billion dollars. I don't think the value is going to increase any higher than it is now because of the financial impact that's happening in football right now, where big clubs can't go out and spend 200-300 million every summer. There's something going on with the PSR, FFP rules, etc. that's cutting that down. Obviously, that would suit FSG's strategy because they don't like to spend so much in the transfer market. But I still feel the value of the football club is the highest peak it's going to be at right now. So I think they can make the most money out of the club right now by selling. So like I said, they can't increase the facilities anymore. They would get at least 10 times the money they invested, at least. And transfer market wise, I don't think they can compete. It doesn't seem to me that we are competitive in the market. We don't seem to go up against Real Madrid. We don't seem to go up against Man City if they get involved. We don't seem to go up against maybe even Arsenal. We don't seem to go up against these clubs that are willingly financially going to spend. And that, again, they're the three major reasons why. And I think people read my X posts and it sounds maybe aggressive, but it's just writing. You can have a perception of writing in any way, shape or form. When I'm speaking, you can see. You know, you can see how I'm speaking. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I'm just talking about it. You know what I mean? So I just feel it's their time to sell. I think they've done what they can with the club, and they're at that time now where there's a tilt, and I think the valuation might dip slightly. And obviously, with them wanting to buy an NBA franchise, they could use the money from a Liverpool sale to indeed invest in an NBA franchise without having to get loans, without having to get other people in, etc. They could just buy it outright. That's a possibility. Let's be honest. Now, when it comes to new ownership, if and when that time comes, people are misconcepted thinking that we want a state, or we want a Chelsea owner, or we want a Newcastle owner, etc. Obviously, a new owner with loads of money would be nice, but I just want to see an ownership at the club that runs well off the pitch, keeps us out of trouble off the pitch, and on the pitch, they're willing to invest more. They're willing to pay for a player like Jude Bellingham. They're willing to pay for a little bit more for a Zubimendi, or I don't know, trying to think of another example, but you know what I mean. So that's the conception that I have. That's what I feel. That's what I think. And on this channel, we will talk about FSG. We will, mention these things, because I feel as a Liverpool fan base, you have to do that. You can't just keep tiptoeing around like a lot of the bigger channels, naming no names, red. We can't tiptoe around these issues. It's an issue that needs to be spoken about, and it's part of the club. So as a fan, I feel I need to be in this discussion. I need to talk about these things. But anyway, guys, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you take the points on board. And obviously, if you've got any other points, comment below. I'll try and get back to as many as I can. And do subscribe. And I will see you soon on Cop Connection. Bye-bye.